Let's jump into our big idea for the day. You know who's not intermittently fasting? Did I say that word correctly?
Nailed it.
The Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies facing the Spurs for the first of back-to-back games, which means we get a double dose of Zach Edey and Wembanyama. Too little right there. Let's go into the second quarter. Grizz in transition. The lob going from Ja Morant to one Santi Aldama. 10 points, 8 assists for Ja Morant in the first half, but the Grizzlies were down double digits at the half. Let's get downhill. How about downhill Dez with a layup? 9-0 run in the third quarter to bring the Grizzlies within 2. They take the lead in the fourth. Not the best game for Jaren Jackson Jr., but he made big plays in the fourth quarter. Got Wemby dancing, and then he gets the 3 ball coming right after that. And the dunk heard around the world. Morant detonates on Wemby after the whistle. It didn't count, but that depends really on who you ask. Grizz win it 129 to 115. So let's go ahead and jump into this one. Caleb, I'll toss it to you first. Do you like this game? You enjoy this game?
Yeah, it was a fun game. I thought it really at the beginning, Wemby gets 2 back-to-back blocks. He gets and then Bane gets out for a 3. I forget who he blocked. I think he blocked Edey and someone else, but I was like, oh no, is this going to be a Wemby game? Mm-hmm. So he gets 2 of his 8 blocks early on, and then the Grizzlies are able to manage to get it out to Bane. He hits a 3, cuts the lead to 28 to 30.
Stay in the corner, yeah.
And that's kind of what the theme was throughout the game. San Antonio had some chances to kind of extend the lead out to even like 15. They had chances, they didn't in the first half. They end up going into the half with a little bit of a lead. But then in the second half, the Grizzlies put up 78 points compared to San Antonio's 52. So really it was closer than the score makes it seem. San Antonio are a really good team. Stephon Castle, great rookie out there, making really good plays in this game. Wembanyama was kept at bay offensively. And still, at the end of the day, Wemby did a good job defensively overall, picking up 8 blocks, but the Grizzlies still picked up 62 points in the paint. There's a reason why they have the most points in the paint per game in the NBA.
Yeah, they got 2 of the most dominant scorers in the paint per game, and Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., who've seen be a monster. To your point, 8 blocks for Wemby in the game, but all 8 of them were in the first half. Yeah. It's almost like, they're like, okay, we got to stop going right at this guy or whatever they were doing. And we kind of reading around with Jaren Jackson Jr., and he's talking about, like, he goes back to watch the film. He's like, okay, I got some stuff that I can't do. I'm doing a little too repetitively. And you got a guy like Wemby who watches tape and as athletic as he is. You can't do those same things. He comes out in the fourth quarter. He dominates. Rachel, what did you like about this game?
Yeah, it was a good win overall and a needed win. They'd lost 4 out of their last 6 heading into that one. Santi Aldama, after the game, called it an identity-building win and a character-building win, and one that they needed. Like you said, going down 12 points at the half, to be able to come out, not only turn it around and win, but to go on that kind of roll and really separate themselves against them. More than 25 points. I can't do maths. 26 points, the difference in that to go on in that second half and get the turnaround. So a big difference for them. And I mean, Santi had another great game. Dez had a great game. Good to see Ja consistent performances, because there was those first couple of games back from injury. A lot of people kind of were out there being like, he doesn't look like the same Ja right now. But I think the last couple of games he's been able to string some wins together and some points together and really look dominant there in every phase of the ball. So great to see him back and playing well. And then Jaren, a rough first half, but to kind of swing things around as well. And like you said, kind of look at things and change things and make sure he's developing into the way that they need him to in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, definitely felt like Ja got his win back just a little bit in this one. Santi Aldama, again, another breath of fresh air. I feel like every time we talk about Santi and he's not in the lineup, the Grizzlies suffer. And when he's coming off the bench in that 6-man role, and Caleb is, he was going to tout the flag about Santi being 6 man.
He's all the way up to third.
He's
back in the top
been phenomenal off the bench. Him and that Luke Kennard lineup, especially when they've got a Ja in the game who can speed things up for them. I think they play so well. You got 3 guys with 20 points in this game: Ja, Dez, and Santi. And then Jaren Jackson Jr. had 19, with 14 of those points coming in the fourth quarter. He was amazing. And I think what we kind of seen from Ja and Jaren these past couple of games is normally we feel like it's Jaren who is kind of carrying them throughout the game and Ja closes. This time it felt like Dez and Ja carried them throughout the game, and they said, okay, Jaren, come and take us home. And it was a phenomenal win. Biggest thing for me, though, 8 turnovers in this game. We talk
Yeah.
day in and day out with this team about how they turn the ball over the most in the league, or so close to top of the league. 8 turnovers in this game. It's the first time all season they've had single-digit turnover game. And obviously you see the result. They get a 129-115 win over the WEMBY Spurs. And to your point, WEMBY didn't dominate offensively, played really well defensively. Stephon Castle,
Yeah, he's nice.
he was impressive. 26 points. He was impressive.
He was
I
answering
keep
back.
talking about how Jalen Wells is going to be our rookie of the year, and then you get a game like that from Stephon Castle. You're like, okay, I can see why people think you're good, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's something we've talked about as well. Jalen Wells is, top 5 in Rookie of the Year expected odds, and we think it might be that low or that high because he's not on TV as much. Same thing with Stephon Castle. But to everything that you were saying, I thought that this game was a really good test for the Grizzlies offense overall. You really saw the ball moving the way that the Grizzlies want to. And now something that has been the Grizzlies' struggle, I think last year we can kind of X out all of those stats last year, but even the year before that, when they eventually fell to LA in the playoffs, their half-court offense has always been in the bottom 5 of the league. Now they're up to 14th. Their half-court efficiency is all the way up to 14th. And a big reason for that is Ja Morant. And with Ja Morant in that lineup, they're able to play this new offense the way they want to. And what that looks like is a lot less dribble handoffs, a lot less pick and rolls. And when you look at someone like Ja early in his career, even to 2 years ago, he was constantly looking for the picks. That was the offense. And now he's all the way down to 45th in the league in picks that he takes per game. If you look at someone like Damian Lillard takes close to 20 a game. That's something that in this modern version of offense, we're looking for a lot. A lot of those players like Damian Lillard are looking to get off the pick and shoot a 3. That's not really Ja. And so I think they've been able to cater this offense towards Ja, and that's why you see all of these points in the paint coming. And the Grizzlies' offense is running very efficiently because of that. And we're at the point where a lot of teams have a sample size to see this Grizzlies' offense and to game plan against it. But not very many teams have been able to do it. The teams that should be good at doing that are teams with someone with the size like Victor Wembanyama, and that can clog up the paint. But because they run this positionless offense, which is some people call it a wheel offense, a positionless high motion offense, it really gives a team like San Antonio troubles, and they're not a bad defensive team at all. And so I think that this was a really good. What does Santi say?
A character building.
Character building, yeah. They kind of set the tone in this game, something that they can carry into tomorrow night when they play San Antonio again and keep this train rolling.
Yeah, talk about setting the tone. You get Zach Edey with 6 of his 8 points, and then I always kind of wonder why they don't give him the ball again. We are talking a lot about the game itself. We got to talk about the moment of the game. It was Ja's dunk over Wemby. Give me the jaw dropper. Let's talk about this one. So one more look at this dunk. Stephon Castle fouls. The whistle blows. That does not stop Ja at all. He absolutely hammers it on Wemby's head. The dunk heard around the world. That did not count. After the game, Ja actually gave his 2 cents on this viral moment.
The whistle was on my gathering, so that I kept going with the play because normally I don't hear no whistle when I drive to the rack or anything. So.
All right, but when you saw him and you saw the opportunity,
Another person at the rim.
all right.
So you dunked on plenty of people, bro. He don't get no pass either. If you at the rim, I'm gonna try you if it's that situation.
It's just another guy at the rim. And yeah, y'all can leave this video while we talk underneath this, but another guy at the rim is a ludicrous statement to make. Ja has dunked on 7-footers before, okay? So that's not a new thing. But Wemby is as elite a shot blocker as there is in the league. And for you to step up on him, yam it on his head when he's clearly trying to defend the dunk, I think it's just another one of those moments where Ja broke the internet, and to our Stingers transitions point, dropped jaws all across the country. I think it was an incredible dunk. Does it count? I think it counts. Not because it obviously doesn't count in the terms of the box score, but when you get a guy like Wemby who's clearly trying to defend the dunk, it counts. And they had it on SportsCenter last night. SportsCenter's like, well, it doesn't count because the whistle blew and this, that, and the third. Don't be a nerd, okay? Don't be a nerd. This was an incredible dunk. It should count. It counts in my heart.
You were
I
rolling
felt
your
it in my
eyes.
soul.
I saw you rolling
I
your
felt it in my
eyes.
soul.
Incredible dunk, but it doesn't count. It's an incredible dunk, but it doesn't. I'm going to be a nerd, if you want to call that. I
You're a
don't never
nerd.
call people that these days
Yeah.
anymore, but whatever. I thought we were trying to
We're
be
not
PC
allowed.
over here.
He sees that. It's a PC
But
term.
I honestly,
That's cool,
hearing
nerds.
what he said after the game, that it's just another guy, I truly, truly think he believes that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's saying that as, like, just to try and get someone on Twitter or wherever to be like, oh, Ja said this. I think that's honestly what he believes. He walks onto any court and says, I'm the best guy on this court. Watch what I can do. And we see it time and time again. And yes, I don't think it technically counts. It doesn't. Like, let's be honest, it doesn't technically count.
In box work.
But it's another play that we see from him where he just does this all the time, where you're just like, how did he do that? And I mean, you talk about Wemby being one of the best shot blockers in the game at the moment. I mean, he had 8 in this game alone, and then he can't stop that. So
But that wasn't one of them.
Did you
That
see how
wasn't one of
far
them.
he brought the ball back? Like, he brought it back his
Insane.
full extension and then dunked. I mean, obviously it doesn't count, but in Wemby's eyes, that dunk's going to count for the rest of his life. He's going to be seeing that every time.
He's going to see it when they play him again tomorrow.
Every third night when he falls asleep, he's going to see Ja and whatever he said to him after that dunk, because you know that there was something. I wanted to say this. I haven't seen anybody say this, but Jaren is third in Defensive Player of the Year odds. Wemby's first. Maybe this was a little, who's the Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah,
you are?
yeah,
You are getting dunked on someone, half your size, essentially?
I don't
There's
know,
a little shot.
Because we done seen Jaren take some shots this year. You get not to that extent, because that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
no.
we've definitely seen Jaren get punched on a couple of times. But as a shot blocker, and I'm not saying this because I am one at 5'8", 5'9" tall.
Get out
But
the
what I've
measuring
heard
stick.
from shot blockers is they say you have to challenge everybody. And when you challenge everybody, when you're a regular guy who is meeting people at the apex, sometimes you're going to get yammed on. That's just the nature of the game. You want to be a defensive player, that's just what's going to happen.
And look, if there's someone to get yammed on by, it's Ja. I mean,
There's
he's
no shame.
He's
No
one of the
shame in
best
getting yammed
people at
on
being
by
able
Ja.
to find the bucket. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, 100%. I really enjoyed watching that. I think that was one of those moments where it felt like Ja was Ja. And I think a lot of times this year we felt like Ja Morant hasn't quite looked like himself or felt like himself, or if you're looking at him, it looks like he's thinking about something in his head. And this is one of those moments where he saw Wemby underneath that basket, his eyes got big, and he said, oh, it's go time. It's time to go. And we got another viral Ja moment. Another one, actually, that will go into the dunks that never were, almost were. He's got a lot where they clang off the back of the backboard or the rim, and you're like, dang, I wish that was that viral moment, but we didn't get it this week.
Yeah, he does have a lot of those. But this one is definitely, if you look at the compilations of shots that didn't count but should have, baskets that didn't count but should have, this might be number 1 all time. It's ridiculous. There's been a lot of crazy shots that didn't count. LeBron's had 5 of them in the top 10 for the last decade, but this one might top all of them. So it's probably going to be on YouTube in those compilations tomorrow.
And the last thing I kind of say about it, when you listen to that soundbite from Ja, he's throwing a little shot at the NBA there. He's like, I kept going because I didn't hear the whistle. I'm not used to hearing the whistle when I go to the rim anymore, so I don't get any foul calls. Thus, somebody had to pay. And this time it was Wemby.